budget of whatever change I had in my pocket. I essentially just had to mostly do it all myself, writing, shooting, acting, unfortunately, because it's kind of hard to get an actor to show up at 11 o'clock at night on a Tuesday after my day job. So it was a lot of just piecing together what I could. I had the lovely work of music of Melanie LaFoy, who was Supine C. She was kind enough to take me on as a charity case and do a lot of the music. And then my main man, Nathan Goss, is out there somewhere, that fellow right there. He essentially was my Red from Shawshank. If I needed something, he usually knew a guy who knew a guy, that good old country kind of know-how. But other than that, 95% of everything that went down was me and whoever I could beg to help me. Callie Francis Hager, another, my quote-unquote wife. The most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. That's her. She totally helped me out. Just the list is endless. But yeah.
Would you? I always like to ask first-time directors that act in their own projects. Would you direct yourself again?
Absolutely not.
That's always
Absolutely not. There's one benefit of having you as the camera guy, the lighting guy, the sound guy, and the actor, is that you can take about 60 takes in a night, and after the 58th one, you can usually nail it, and it makes you look like an actor, and it makes you look like maybe you know what you're doing, but it's solely because I'm wasting only my time. But no, I would never, ever, ever direct me again. I'm a complete diva.
Would you? That's true.
Yeah.
Would you? Well, I was going to say, well, you can answer this. Would you act for someone else again, or did you kind of get that out of your system?
If they're willing to give me 50 to 60 takes
Right.
to do it. I mean, I'm not an actor. It was mostly, I think it all boils down to, I kind of learned what separates, not to say I'm a good director, but I've kind of figured it out, because you can see them. You don't have to know how a Swiss watch is made to see the quality and to be able to tell what it takes to make something grand. And I think that's what it was with directing, because I don't have to be a good actor to start to see what it takes to be a good actor. And I don't have to be a good director to start to see what it takes, because once you're doing it, you can start to see the mechanisms. And one of the mechanisms is vision. You have to be able to visualize what the scene needs and make it happen. And when you can do 50 takes by yourself, you can go, nah, you didn't do it. Nah, you didn't do it. Nah, you didn't do it. But as long as you have that vision in your head, it makes sense and you can match them up.
So if you had to only wear one hat, where did you, which role did you have the most joy in?
Catering.
Okay.
Just go on my fridge.
All the craft services?
Yes, yeah, craft services was amazing. I mean, lighting, honestly, because I enjoy shadow. I mean, obviously with Lamplight, there was a lot of shadow out of not just necessity, but thematically. And I enjoy the hat of placing the light and seeing. I don't think enough movies have enough shadow nowadays. I think there's a premium set on making everything bright and making everything gritty, and I just love that feel of just gritty darkness and that contrast. So I think I definitely would do that if I had to do that. That being said, coloring is not my strong suit, so I would stay away from coloring. It's hard to color, y'all. It's hard. Don't do it. Someone asks you to color, don't do it.
Where did this concept come from? Have you ever been trapped in a tunnel?
Once in high school, it was a wild weekend. No. No, a lot of it came out of, I said, I want to make a movie. What do I want to do? And I thought, well, I don't have any budget. I don't know anybody, so it has to be a one-man show. And I was driving my car one day, and I was thinking about, this movie is largely based around the idea that, what if the Book of Job, if you don't know your biblicalness, the Book of Job is about a guy who's essentially fucked with by the devil under God's permission. This guy's an awesome, groovy dude, and he loves God a whole bunch. And then the devil's like, I bet you this fucker wouldn't love you so much if you took away all of his cool stuff. And God was like, I'll take that bet. And and the devil proceeds to fuck with Job, kill all his kids, take his life, or take his livestock, give him boils and whatnot. And I thought, well, what if the devil won? Like, how much of an asshole would God look? So that's largely about what, there's a lot of biblical references in this, some of them you may not have noticed, but it essentially boils down to, what if the devil won? What if the devil got Job to kill himself? So that's kind of what Jim is in this. There's a couple ways to read it, but Jim is essentially, in my mind, the devil. And it kind of just came out of that. The whole movie kind of came out of the notion of, what would it take to push some guy to kill himself if you're the devil? And from there it also went to, this movie's dedicated to Magnus Ray, who is my unborn son that I lost. And it was a lot of dealing with that as well. It was a lot of like, the whole storyline, the wife storyline, came out of that. So I think any good art has dashes of truth in it, no matter how much you bullshit. And I think that's probably largely where the Book of Job is in some
Do we have any questions from the audience?
Ask me anything, please. Ross size, favorite tree.
I'm just curious, for the 3 years, what was the main, I imagine being in the car was like...
Yeah.
And did you have to like set up in your garage, or how did you...
Yeah, okay, so...
You bought a tunnel?
I'll tell you, IKEA nowadays, they just have everything.
So cheap.
So cheap. Skirlin, the tunnel, you just buy one and collapse it. No, so it essentially had to, what it was I took a car, we had to get a new one anyway, so I took the old one, I collapsed it on in, and I put it in the garage, and we built huge structures around it to hold all the rocks, because fake rocks are expensive, y'all. So, you know what's not expensive? Just fucking rocks.
That was pretty fun, destroying the car like that.
Yeah, no, it was fun in concept, but lifting approximately 3 tons of real rock was not fun. Once again, Nathan Goss, I went to him and I said, hey, you think you can give me a whole shit ton of rocks? And he's like, sure. A week later, I had a whole shit ton of rocks. And we built tables around the car, parked it there, and for 3 years, my car sat up, my dilapidated car sat up on cinder blocks with a whole bunch. And the important part of it was that I had to be able to move everything so that I could put cameras wherever I needed. So we had to put 3 tons of rock on something that was movable. So we built industrial-sized tables to take the weight of it. And from there, it was just figuring out where lights went, and then fucking up, and then going back and reshooting it again, and then fucking up, and realizing your sound is messed up, so you have to go back and reshoot it again. And eventually, after a week, you get that 15 seconds that you need. So that was the process of filming for 3 years in the car.
I just want to add that I'm fascinated that you did this like mostly by yourself, because it's so, I mean, it's a feat to do it with a crew of, 100.
Finishing a screenplay or yet alone a film, yet alone by yourself.
Yeah.
I went when I was at Georgia State. Craig Brewer, who directed The Footloose Remake, Hustle and Flow, Black Snake Moan, he came and talked to about like 20 or 30 of us. And he said, well, there's 2 ways to kind of make it, to make what you want to, make a film. There's 2 ways. You can essentially be a PA, maybe give Harvey Weinstein a hand job, maybe do something for years and years and years, and maybe work your way up, and someone will give you a second unit, and maybe you'll eventually make commercials, and maybe eventually you make a short film, maybe yada yada yada. And he said, the other way is just to fucking do it. And I was like, that sounds good to me. I'll just do it. And then little did I know the sheer amount of work that goes into it, but that's something, it's a sickness, I would probably describe it, because it's any other person, you put them in something and say, all right, well, you're going to have to do this for every waking moment for the next, now, by the way, I had 2 kids while filming all this, so someone said,
You look great for having 2 kids.
yeah, thank you. Lost the weight. It's, if you ruined my game, you fucker. It's just a lot of work, and I don't know if I would have done it again, knowing, but now that I'm here, it feels good.
Now you have to.
Yeah, no, it's past the point of no return.
All right, one more question from the audience? Yes. Lynn Hanson.
So what's next for you?
Handshaking, praying. I do have me and my writing partner, Dominic Purr, we have finished a kind of period thriller horror homage to The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing, one of the greatest movies ever made.
Never heard of it.
It's a little indie film. And we're hoping to shop that around, shake hands, plead, do whatever we have to. That's what's next, and hopefully show this more.
All right, Mason Ray, everybody.
My name is Meg Crosby. I'm young Jody in the Scent of Rain and Lightning, and I'm watching Heart Fire Film.